How do you fill out the preliminary change of ownership report to properly transfer your California real estate into your living trust without triggering a reassessment or an increase in your property taxes? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to fill out the form correctly, okay? So if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, hit the subscribe button to get notified whenever I post a new video about living trusts. By the way, my name is Edmund. I am a living trust lawyer. I've helped hundreds of families and I've taught thousands of people how to do it themselves, and I'm excited to share my tips and tricks with you today. If you want to learn the entire process of how to make a living trust the right way without hiring a lawyer, check out my free class at freetrustclass.com. The link is in the description below. So really quick legal disclaimer, I'm not your lawyer. I'm not giving you any legal advice today. All of this is just for your information. If you have any legal questions, talk to a lawyer. Okay, so why do you have to fill out a preliminary change of ownership report? PCOR is the short name for it. And the reason why we do this is because it's required in California when you transfer real estate, including transfers into your revocable living trust. So for example, you might be watching this video because you're planning to set up a trust, or you've done that already, and the next step is to transfer your house, whether it's your primary residence or your rental property or a second home that you own in California. You're planning to transfer that into the trust to avoid probate and make sure the right people receive that property when you pass away. So if you're doing that, then watch this video, because I'm going to teach you that not only do you have to record a new deed that transfers title from you to yourself in the trust, but you also want to make sure that you fill out this preliminary change of ownership report and also record it at the same time that you record your deed. And so the reason why we do this is because if you don't record it along with the transfer deed, you're gonna have to pay more money. The county charges more money when you record a deed without a PCOR, so make sure you do that. And number two, your property taxes may be reassessed if you don't submit a PCOR while at the same time that you record a grant deed. I've seen a lot of people do this. A lot of people make their own trusts or transfer their own properties, and they don't know that they have to fill out this PCOR and submit it along with the deed. And so what happens is they find out when they get their next property tax bill that their property tax has been reassessed, or they receive a letter from the county reminding them to do it, to fill out the PCOR, but they never do it, and so they get reassessed. So a lot of people have done that. A lot of people have made that mistake. It's a really terrible mistake because number one, your property taxes go up. And number two, if you want to appeal it, there's this whole appeals process. It takes a while. You might need to hire a lawyer. And so it's gonna cost hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. So you want to avoid this mistake in the beginning by making sure you fill out a PCOR. And number two, make sure that you fill it out correctly, okay? So this is what I'm gonna help you do today. And again, this is not legal advice, it's just for your information. But I'm gonna share with you how I do it when I help my clients transfer their real estate into their living trust. All right, so let me share my screen with you with the PCOR. Let me see if that, oh, here we go. I'm doing this live, so bear with me. So as you can see, this is the preliminary change of ownership report. And every county has its own. Okay, has its own preliminary change of ownership report. The one I'm using here is for Los Angeles County. They're all practically the same. Okay, they all ask the same questions, and so they're literally all the same. But I do recommend that you download the one that your county has, and specifically, you want to make sure you use the county form in which the property is located. So, for example, if you live in Los Angeles County, but the property that you're trying to transfer into your trust is in Riverside County or San Francisco County or Riverside County or San Diego County, you want to make sure you use the right county form. And the right county form means that you use the county in which the property is located, not where you live. Okay, so that's really important. So after you download the correct one, and by the way, you can just Google it. It should pop up depending on which county that the property is located in. So after you download it, you open it up in a PDF filler like this one. I'm using Adobe, and the first thing you want to fill out is this information right here in the blue box. And so what you want to do is you want to first put your name down. Okay, so put your name here, your full legal name. If you're married, you're gonna put both you and your spouse. If you create a joint trust, meaning that both of you are the creators of the trust, you want to make sure that both of your names are on there. And you want to give yourself a title because technically you're moving the property into the trust, and you as the trustees, as the manager of the trust, as the manager of the properties, you're going to take title as the trustee. And so you want to put your title here. And then below that, you're going to put your full address, just like this, okay, just like this formatting. On the very right, you're going to put your assessor's parcel number. So you should know what that is. The assessor's parcel number is the number that the assessor uses to identify your property, and so it should be on your latest grant deed. So take a look at that to get the assessor's parcel number. Down here, seller, transferor, you're going to put your names on it. Buyer's daytime telephone number, you're going to put your number. Buyer's email, you're going to put your number. And then street address or physical location of real property. So this is where you put the full address, full and complete address of the property that you're transferring into your living trust. So if it's not your primary residence, don't put your primary residence or your mailing address here. This is the address of the property that you're transferring into the trust. Okay, so you put that there. And then the next question is whether this property is your primary residence. If it's your primary residence, say yes, check yes right here, and then put the date in which you occupied it, or the date which you intend to occupy that property. If it's no, it's not your primary residence, then you just say no. For example, if it's a rental property, if it's a second home, then you would select no right here. And the next question is, are you a disabled veteran or an unmarried surviving spouse of a disabled veteran? You can say yes or no to that as well. Property tax information too. Here, you're gonna put your names, okay? Just, I would just copy and paste what you put here. So your full legal names plus your title as trustee, you'll put that here. And then you're gonna put the mail property tax information to address, which is where do you want to receive the property tax bill every year? Or where do you want to be notified whenever the assessor needs to contact you by mail? You're gonna put that address right here. Usually I would recommend you use your primary residence. So you put that right here. And then I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. The next set of questions is really important, but it's really simple. Right here under part 1, it says transfer information. Please complete all statements. And the first section right here, which takes up the rest of page number 1, it's gonna ask you why the county should not reassess your property taxes. Okay, so you're giving the county a reason to not reassess your property taxes. If you do not fill this out correctly, or if you don't fill this out, there's a really high chance that the assessor is going to reassess your property taxes, meaning increase it to the current assessed value of your property taxes. So you might have purchased the property 20 years ago, and now you're paying only $2,000 a year in your property taxes. If you make this mistake of not submitting this PCOR, then your property taxes on an annual basis will now get reassessed to the current assessed value of your property. So it might jump from $2,000 to $4,000 to $10,000 to $20,000, depending on how much the assessed value of your property tax is, which is significant. And so you want to avoid that mistake. So here's what you need to do when you're transferring. Okay, when you're transferring the house into the trust, you're going to select no on every single box from A to Q except box number L. Okay, so box L, it says, let me zoom in on box L for you. So box L says this is a transfer of property to or from a revocable trust that may be revoked by the transferor and is for the benefit of, and there's three options, the transferor, the transferor's spouse, or the registered domestic partner. So here you want to select yes. If you're single or if this is just your property, you're going to select the transferor box. If you're married and this property is also your spouse's, then you want to select the transferor's spouse, especially if it's a joint revocable trust that you're putting the house into. If you are a registered domestic partner with California, meaning that you filed the declaration of domestic partnership within California between you and your partner, then you want to select the registered domestic partner portion. All right, so that's it. Really simple. That's what you do for the rest of page 1. And then for page 2, here's what you'll have to fill out. So the first thing you're going to fill out is under part 2, other transfer information. You're going to see in section B, type of transfer, you're going to select other. Okay, you're going to select other, and then you're going to type in something like transfer into grantors / grantees revocable living trust in which they are the sole grantors / beneficiaries. So this is if you're married. If you're a single individual, then you'll just remove the plural and just put make everything singular. And so what you're trying to say here is you're letting the county know, the assessor's office know, that you're simply moving it into your revocable living trust, and that your revocable living trust is created by the both of you if you're married and if you're on title, or if you're single, it's created by you. You're the grantor of the trust. You're also the grantor in terms of transferring title from you to the trust. And so you're basically letting the county know that you're not transferring it to a third party. Okay, so the ownership interest remains the same. That's all the county really wants to know. The county wants to know that you're not adding someone else on title. It's not you and someone else in the living trust. It's just you, or just you and your spouse, who's already on title. Because the only way where the county would reassess your property taxes is if you transfer it to a third party, whether it's 1% or 99% or 100%. The county really cares about who is the new owner of the property when the deed is submitted and recorded. So this is to let the county know, hey, I'm still the owner. I'm simply moving it into my living trust. Now, I do want to give you a warning. Okay, one big warning is that, let's say you own your property. Okay, just you on title. Okay, not you and your spouse, but you're the only one on title. And now you're moving it from you to you and your spouse by putting it into your trust. If you're making that transfer from you to you and your spouse as trustees of the trust, you have to record 2 separate deeds. Okay, one deed is you transferring it from yourself to you and your spouse, and then the second deed is you and your spouse transferring it to your trust. And the reason why we do this is we want to make sure that we do things in order to let the county know that to let the county know what's going on. If you're the only one on title, but you're moving it to your living trust that also has your spouse as the creator of the trust, you can't just move it from you to the trust. Okay, and I can go into more detail about this in another video, but I want to give you a warning. Unless you and your spouse is already on title, you want to make sure that you put your spouse on title first before you move it into your trust, to avoid any risk of reassessment. And if you're in that situation, you really want to talk to a lawyer about it, unless you study more on this topic, okay? But I do want to warn you and let you know about the issue so you can do more research, all right? So you're going to fill out the other part, you're going to check it, and then in section C, it's going to ask you only a partial interest in the property was transferred, yes or no. If you or you and your spouse own the property 100%, then the answer is no. But let's say 50% of the property is owned by you and 50% of the property is owned by your brother, then you're really only transferring 50% into your trust. So in that case, you'll select yes, and then you'll put in 50%, okay, to let the county know that you're not transferring 100% into your trust because there's another owner. You're only transferring 50%, which you own. So after that, you're going to scroll down and you're going to go to part 4, property information. And you're going to choose, select the correct type of property. Is it a single family home? Is it a condo? Is it a multi-unit residence? So for example, is it a duplex? Is it a triplex? Is it a fourplex? You want to let the county know what type of property this is. And then these sections right here, B, C, D, and E under part 4, you don't necessarily need to fill this out. You can if it applies to your situation. And then on the very bottom, make sure you put your full names again. Title is the trustee, your email, your phone number, and the date that you are signing. And that's it. And so after you fill this out, you're going to submit it along with the deed that you're recording. And so if you have any questions, you should definitely talk to a lawyer. Or if you have any questions and you want me to answer it, you can schedule a free consultation with me regarding this, or just type in your question in the comments below, and I might make a video to answer that question. But again, I'm not offering you any legal advice. If you do need a lawyer to help you transfer property into the trust, I do offer free consultations regarding this. All right, so if you have any other questions for me, definitely let me know. Okay, so I want to end this video with well, actually, I want to remind you to first educate yourself before hiring a lawyer or before doing it yourself. Meaning, if you're planning to set up your own living trust, or you've set up your own living trust already, make sure you educate yourself. There's so much in the trust making process, and that's why I created this free class on how to make your own living trust without hiring a lawyer. And so you can learn how to do the entire process from A to Z with confidence and without making any mistakes. I'm not here to sell you my legal services. I do help clients, but my number one goal for creating this class is to make sure that you can keep more money in the family and you can give yourself that peace of mind that you deserve. So check out my free class at freetrustclass.com if you'd like. And I want to leave you to this with this really funny Bible verse. It says, "Gray hair is a glorious crown. It is found in the ways of righteousness." And I was reading through the Bible today, and I was reading through Proverbs, and this popped up. And I thought, wow, you know, I want to share it with you guys. So really quick funny story. When I was 9, I had my first gray hair. I was sitting in the back of my aunt's car on our way somewhere, and she noticed a strand of gray hair at 9 years old. And throughout my teenage years, I had so many white hairs. And so I would dye my hair almost every single month in order to hide my gray hair. And as I got older, miraculously, by the grace of God, my gray hair started going away. So I'm kind of like a Benjamin Button, if you ever watched that movie, is where my gray hair started going away, and now I only have a few strands left. I don't know how that happened, but I know that you know, I've been praying about it many years, and God probably answered my prayer here. But I want to encourage you guys, as you're getting older, as you're getting wiser, as you're getting towards the end of life, as most of us are, Proverbs 16 says, gray hair is a glorious crown. It is found in the ways of righteousness. And so I want to encourage you guys to pursue righteousness. Righteousness only comes by our Lord Jesus Christ. He sets the standards. He knows truly what's right and wrong. And he really wants to guide you. He wants to give you that glorious crown, that wisdom that only comes from God. And so I encourage you guys to read the Bible, receive Christ as your Lord and Savior, and he's going to direct your paths. He's going to show you exactly what to do with your children's inheritance. He's going to show you what to do to repair your relationship with your children or with your spouse, because he cares about you. He loves you. He died for you. And so I pray that you pursue him with all of your heart and know that he is your God. Know that he loves you because he died for you. So God bless you all. If you have any legal questions about living trust, leave them in the comments below. I'm not going to give you legal advice, but just information. But I will do my best to make a video to help you along the way. All right. God bless you. I'll talk to you later.